guys, it's Jessica from Pizza Books, and today I'm here with a recommendation video of Obsessive Heroes, where the hero is so smitten with the heroine. Sometimes he admits it, sometimes he's got this gruff, grumpy exterior going on, but he falls so hard for the heroine, and these are my favorites. And now I've always wanted to do a he falls first video, but I never remember, like, technically who falls first in the situation, and so some of these are he fell first, but the other ones I'm like, I don't remember, they fell at the same time. So these are just heroes who are absolutely obsessive over the heroine, so in love with her, and sometimes have a little bit of a gruff exterior. Before I get into the recommendations, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Pippa with the Gossip in the Grump, which, first of all, can we take a look at the dog on the cover and the dog on the back cover? I have two dogs myself, so when there's a dog on the cover of a romance novel, I'm like twice as likely to pick it up because I'm like, dog? Yes, I want a dog in my romance. So this is the Gossip in the Grump, and this has a very grumpy hero. The synopsis describes him as insanely tall, broad-shouldered, dark-haired, and scowling. He is actually the new owner of the cafe that the heroine works at, and he is definitely very grumpy. She spills coffee on his suit. He is going to completely gut and renovate the cafe that she works for as revenge against her family, or so she claims. But he just so happens to be the very charming guy that she had a one-night stand with the previous week. What I love about the back of this book too is it has kind of like a pitch about the book. So it talks about it being a one-night stand enemies to lovers rom-com where she is trying to unlearn everything she knows about everyone because gossip gets her in trouble, and he is a grumpy misfit hiding a secret heart of gold, which I love. A grumpy hero who is really secretly such a good person and is afraid to let people in. And so the Gossip in the Grump is perfect if you want a grumpy hero. Definitely forced proximity because he is now the owner of the place that she works for, and we have an adorable dog that the heroine owns. So definitely pick this up if you want a one-night stand enemies to lovers with all those other amazing tropes mixed in. And a huge thank you to Pippa for sponsoring this video. This video was definitely inspired by a few romances that I have recently read. So if you've been watching some of my wrap-ups, you're like, okay, yes, I know you read that recently and absolutely loved it. So the first one is Twisted Lives by Anna Huang. The way Christian is obsessed with Stella. I finally read this. I did a vlog where I finished series that I had one book left in because we know I'm horrible at finishing series. I read 3 books of that vlog, knocked 3 series off of my TBR. This was the last one in the Twisted series by Anna Huang, and it did not disappoint. It's my favorite in the series. It was so good. Christian definitely feels kind of mafia because he owns a security company, and he's also really good at like cyber stuff, but also he's not afraid to take someone out who wrongs him or the people he loves, and he's obsessed with Stella. He falls first. I remember vividly, he falls first in here, but he puts on this really cool guy act where he doesn't admit that he loves her and kind of waits and bides his time to get her, and then there's fake dating in here, and he's so protective of her, and oh my gosh, he literally is just obsessed with her. Even though he tries to put on this like big bad guy persona, he's really obsessed with her. I love that where his exterior does not match how hard he has fallen on the inside. So if you want to read that, read this. She's an influencer and they start fake dating and things go from there. That's all I want to tell you because you need to experience this book for yourself. Another one I will not stop talking about is Manacled, because this is fan fiction and I'm excited to read more fan fiction. This one is Draco and Hermione fan fiction from Harry Potter, and Draco is obsessed with Hermione. And that's all I can really say. He shows his love in so many different ways, but literally he is the right-hand man to Voldemort, so he's just taken out so many people, and he will literally go to the ends of the earth for Hermione. Literally go to the ends of the earth for her, and I like can't tell you how or why. I will spoil so much of this book, but he lives and breathes to be near her. And the romance is just absolutely amazing. This is definitely a very dark romance. The premise is that the Order has lost the war against Voldemort, and so it starts out where Hermione is part of a kind of breeding program like Handmaid's Tale, where she is placed with the family in order to have their babies because it is really hard for witches to get pregnant now, and she is placed with Draco's family. Like, as in, like, Draco is the one who has to get her pregnant with his baby for him and his wife. It is so good, and Draco is obsessed with Hermione. Obsessed. I don't want to tell you how or when or what, but trust me. Another one that I recently read where he is absolutely obsessed with her is Shatter, Truce by Helena Hunting. This one, from the moment they meet, he is like, who is this woman? And I need her in my life. So he almost runs her over with his car, and she's biking. She is a hockey player, but her family does not have a lot of money. She is not from a good home situation. There's definitely abuse in here, and she is really passionate about hockey, and so she plays when she can, but he is from a hockey legend family, and his mom was a figure skater. He is actually a figure skater. So they both go to college, and he meets her, almost runs her over, and she loses a skate. He pretty much holds the skate hostage until she like meets him again, and he invites her to open skate at his rink for his dad's team. So she goes, and they see how amazing she is, and his dad's like, we need you on our team. And she's like, I don't have the time because I have a job, or the money because I need my job to make money because I have no money. And so she gets kind of tied up in his life, and he is so in love with her. Like, he is not afraid to tell her how much he likes her and how much he wants her in his life, and he will go after her in order to date her and like have her in his life. And so I really like that. The heroine was much more hesitant about entering a relationship with him because they're from such different sides of the track, because he is from this really wealthy, well-off family full of legends, and she is just not from that. And so it was really good, and it was really sweet at the end. There were things where they had to really lean on each other for certain situations, and I really enjoyed this one. It was not as angsty because he was so all into the relationship. Like, books 1 and 2 in the series are super angsty, but I still really enjoyed this one. Then we have Keep Her Safe by QB Tyler. This one is a bodyguard romance, and the hero is quite older than her, and she's been in love with him for a very long time, but she was rejected by him. He wanted to stop being her bodyguard because she's a famous actress when she was like 18, 19, I think, when she started like putting the moves on him, and he was like literally about to quit, and then her parents passed away, and he knew he had to be there for her and help her. So he's been her bodyguard for quite a while, and she was in a really long-term relationship, and her boyfriend cheats on her. And so now she's like, you know what? It's my time to make my move again on my bodyguard, because she's never stopped liking him, and he's been in love with her. And it's so good. And not only do we have him being obsessed with her, but he's the bodyguard, so he's like super, super overprotective of her. If you have not read this yet, you have to. It is super, super, super spicy. QB Tyler writes the best spice, and age gap forbidden. And so good. And there's some suspense in here as well, which I really liked. Another one that has like such good obsessive hero energy is Pucking Around by Emily Rath. The way these men, it's why choose. So she is in a relationship with a hockey player and his best friend, who's the team manager, and then another hockey player that's on the team, who's the goalie. So initially, she has a one-night stand with the hockey player in the prequel novella to this. He is obsessed. He is like, I cannot think of anything but this woman, but they go their separate ways. She leaves and doesn't leave any like indicator of her identity, who she is, what, they just like leave. And then she gets transferred to his hockey team to be the athletic trainer. And he's like, oh my God, it's the woman of my dreams. And so he's so excited. But when she arrives, she first meets his best friend, and she's like, ooh, I like him. And so all the men are just so obsessed with her and want to do just everything to make her happy, including be in a relationship with her while she's in a relationship with other people. So it is a why she's romance, and what happens is she has like an individual relationship with the goalie, and then individual relationships with the two best friends, but then the two best friends are actually also in love with each other. So very interesting dynamic to their relationship, but I loved it, and the way they would literally just like do anything to make her happy, I was obsessed with. So if you want men that are obsessed with their woman, read this one. Then I have Meet Your Match by Candy Steiner. This one is a hockey romance where she is working for social media, and she gets assigned to do a profile project on the hockey player that's on this team. So she has to basically be around him 24/7. She has to move into his building, and he is so into her and is not afraid to tell her that. She has some baggage of her own where she felt really not worthy of the person she was dating and hated the way she felt, so she doesn't want to feel that again. So she doesn't want to date anybody like at the caliber that her ex was, and now she has a professional hockey player like wanting to be with her, and so she is definitely very hesitant, and he is all in. He is like, I want to be with you. You are just so attractive, so my type, and I really like you, and she doesn't want that, but they have to spend a ton of time together, and then she slowly lets her walls down, and I thought it was really fun. It was a fun take on a social media influencer kind of romance with a hockey player. Then I have Reckless by Elsie Silver. The way Theo is obsessed with Winter. And again, we have kind of a prickly heroine who doesn't want to let the hero in because she has a lot of reservations of her own. Winter went through a lot throughout this whole series. Definitely recommend reading them in order to get the full effect. But she has a one-night stand with Theo and gets pregnant. So this one is a surprise pregnancy romance. Theo does not know about the baby until after it's born. And the way he is so all in with being a dad is just so attractive with him in this book. And he will do anything to protect Winter. Like, people are mean to her and he is like, do not talk about the mother of my child that way. And so he is all in with her and had always wanted to be with her and wasn't keeping that a secret, but she is the one who was like, I don't really want this, moved on, but then got pregnant, and so they had to reunite, obviously, and he's just obsessed. He is so obsessed with her, and I loved it. And the last one I have is The Right Move by Liz Tomford. The way Ryan could not stop thinking about our heroine. So this one's fake dating, and the hero needs to show his basketball team that he like has a life outside of basketball because everyone thinks he's very, very serious and kind of scary when it comes to basketball because he is the captain of his basketball team, and his sister's best friend needs a place to stay because she caught her boyfriend cheating on her and she can't afford anywhere, and she's a flight attendant for the hockey team from book 1, and then she would love a date to her wedding to show her ex that she's over him, and so they agree to fake date, and Ryan will find any reason to text her, and he's always thinking about her, and he's so protective of her, and he is just literally obsessed with her. And his love language is giving things and spoiling people and like providing for them, and he will do anything for her, and I loved it. So this one, Ryan Shea is like the perfect book boyfriend. This was so good. If you have not read it yet, highly recommend. And those are all my he's so obsessed with her romances. Like I said, some of them are like he's not afraid to tell her from the start, and some of them are he's got a little bit of a gruff exterior going on and doesn't want to let her know that he's really secretly pining after her. So make sure you check these out. And again, thank you so much to Pippa Grant for sponsoring this video. And can I say, this book is just feels so floppy and so nice. I can't stop just like touching it. But make sure you pick up the Gossip and the Grump for a very grumpy hero who is really soft on the inside, but they did have a one-night stand, and now it's very much hate to love, enemies to lovers with a cute dog at a coffee shop. Like, the vibes of this book are just perfect. So make sure you pick this book up. And again, thank you so much to Pippa Grant for sponsoring this video. And that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.